Hello, everybody.
Da 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 da.
Welcome to the Gospel of Comics. It's me and Rune on our own again,
Yep.
but
The
that's fine.
garble of comics.
Church and Ayrton can get in here. So Joe, what's been going on with you this week?
I mean, tonight I smashed my everything. I'm all kinds of messed up, but I'm gonna live. It's been a rough week. I've been cleaning the house and puttering around, but busy day in the world of comics. If your interest is stupid bullshit.
Well, I mean, yeah. There's all sorts of dumb things we get to talk about, but I wanna
Well, the dumb that I was gonna mention. I don't know. Did we talk about Batman Beyond last week?
the Batman Beyond versus Miles Morales. I think we did.
Right, but specifically me and the big reading because you and I had to go on that quest to find that panel.
Oh no! So let's open that up.
Okay, so that was a conversation you and I had earlier in the week. We haven't actually talked about Terry and Miles
Yes,
for
yes,
show.
yes.
Cool. Oh my God!
Hey, Papa Church, how we doing?
Who are you people and where is my horse?
Well, we did you decide to show up to the show today because I mentioned Guinness in the show title?
Yes.
You act like I've read the show title. That's funny.
Well, I mean, he could also have shown up because he's the eighth dwarf and therefore qualified to talk about how much Peter Dinklage is a dick.
I mean, but yeah. So you were talking about that Batman Beyond comic you read because of a bunch of
Yes.
nonsense people on the internet.
Yes. So, in the way of the internet, nonsense leads to starting revelations. So, a bunch of people started a controversy, probably to advertise buzz for the next Spider Verse film. Maybe because DC's going to do something with Batman Beyond. Knock on fucking wood. That's right. We're 2 minutes in. We're already dropping the bombs. Um, but people were arguing over who is the better legacy character, Miles Morales or Terry McGinnis. And there seemed to be two arguments, neither of which I think is very good. So the first is Terry McGinnis was a bad legacy character because Warner Brothers hasn't done anything with him. Therefore, bad character. Right? And to a lesser extent, people pointing out the cognitive flaw of the stealth Batman uh, series ender epilogue, where it's revealed that Terry McGinnis is actually a clone of Batman by proxy, by DNA magic, by Amanda Waller being an idiot.
Well,
Um,
no. Terry McGinnis's dead sperm was replaced with Bruce Wayne's sperm.
right, using DNA magic because Amanda Waller's an idiot. Um, and
I
the
mean,
problem,
she
of
did
course,
have Alzheimer's drugs at the time, so
she
I
did.
mean,
It's just that it's funny that people trying to use it as a take that to say why Terry McGinnis is a bad Batman are really pissed when people go, no, this is great because it totally explains why Terry McGinnis's dad and his mom broke up because he thought that his wife was cheating on him, and it's like, no, it's because the government programmed your DNA wrong. But yeah, the argument is, well, Warner Brothers isn't making Batman Beyond stuff, therefore Batman Beyond bad. This is not true, but we'll get to that in a minute. This also fails because just because Miles Morales has had films and just because those films have been successful does not magically make Miles Morales a good character. It doesn't address any of the potential flaws that character has, like his lack of his own rogues gallery, the general kind of banal nature of his storytelling. There are a bunch of things. The other commentary of note, the other argument uh, that people like to make is that uh, t- uh, Miles Morales is a better character, right? Because he is a person of color, and that by extension, the only reason anyone actually brings up Terry is because Terry White, which is not true, because Terry McGinnis was a good character before Miles Morales existed.
And more importantly, there was the Return of the Joker movie, which really
Right.
did a lot of good character work for Terry McGinnis.
It did. But this ultimately leads to I went down a rabbit hole because people had been passing around this panel that I had never seen before. I'm like, where's this comic panel from? So I did a deep dive and I ended up reading
The
like
Moon Knight crossover where Moon Knight kidnaps Terry McGinnis and robs him for the $20 because he thinks he's Dracula in the batsuit.
I mean, yeah, but I mean that did work out because then they went and they got that money from Dracula. So yeah, because he realized Terry McGinnis is not rich and doesn't have $20 to his name.
But then they realized that it was DC Comics Dracula and not Marvel Comics Dracula.
Right, so it's the wrong Dracula. It's like, why are you robbing me?
That's the book I want to see. DC Dracula crossover with Moon Knight.
Who is
Just
this crazy
100,
man?
180 pages of Moon Knight trolling Dracula for $20 that Dracula doesn't even know he owes him.
The Justice League asked Moon Knight, "How did you get here?" Ketamine. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, I did a lot of ketamine. It's like, what do you mean? And like John Jones is like, no, you don't understand. He did so much ketamine. He transgressed dimensional barriers.
I tried to read his mind, and now I'm high on ketamine.
Right? No, John Jones is high on ketamine.
I mean, realistically, though, John's doing weed. That's why he's so into his Oreo cookies.
Oh no, Church died. He laughed so hard he ceased to exist. He ketamined out of existence.
So
But
you
no,
pulled
this,
up this
yeah,
Batman Beyond comic.
this took me in a deep dive into about like 2 or 3 runs of Batman Beyond comics. I had known 1 or 2, but I didn't know they had done more recent ones. And the more recent ones are really good. Like, Batman Beyond comics is freaking where it's at. I had not read a major DC title for some time because the primary thrust of DC titles of late has been just abject world building trash. I'm not reading Absolute. I'm not reading Dark Knights or Metal or whatever the fuck else they're doing, and don't want none of that shit.
Right now, it's Absolute with the Devil Joker, from what I understand.
Right, Devil Joker taking a shit. We talked about that last week. And now they have.
I was meal prepping and hitting myself in the penis with a hammer, which means I was having a better time than you were.
You were. In fact, Absolute has now introduced their Absolute Harley Quinn, which is apparently just a British punk in a giant Cosby sweater.
Also, Absolute introduced Green Arrow, whose main villain is Epstein and his island or something.
Jesus Christ.
We're going to be talking a little bit more about Absolute Universe in a moment.
Here's the thing. You might be doing mockery.
I'm not.
And yet I can see
hold up.
The dumb fucks doing Absolute.
Hold up.
Saying, what if the island prison that Ollie escaped from was Epstein Island? Because edgy and political.
Well, hold up, Brune. Don't you remember when they had America Chavez actually be an escapee from Epstein Island?
I did not, but this now explains a lot about why she and Moon Knight are there to get Dracula's $20 from the DC universe.
Yeah. So, like, America Chavez was actually created on Epstein Island.
Jesus fucking Christ.
There's a mutant billionaire who's got all the best genetics there, and he's
and the worst part is that if what's his name comes back to Marvel, to do X-Men, he's not going to do better X-Men because he also has lost.
Jubal Slade is the Epstein-inspired villain in Absolute Evil #1.
Jubal Slade. So it's
Yes.
it's Wade
It's
Wilson and a
no.
or
It's
it's Slade
Slade
Wilson and
No.
and someone else mixed together.
It's. I think there's a Jew joke in there somewhere, but the original Jews, the ones from the from hell.
Why not just make it Maxwell Lord owns the island? That's so much fucking easier.
Right, but
Because-
then it wouldn't be an obvious Epstein Island reference, Rune.
How
Well,
not?
I don't know. It could be because didn't Maxwell Lord try to like do weird stuff to Wonder Woman?
I mean, who hasn't?
Here's the thing. All that means is that some dumb fuck over at DC read the fucking Icarus sanction
Yes.
once and went, we did this bad story idea where we implied that Slade Wilson fiddled a kid, therefore he's a kid fiddler in our absolute universe because we're deep. And it's like, no, it wasn't deep then. It's not deep in your edgy alternate. Scott Snyder, stop making absolute Batman. It's absolute trash.
Okay, let's talk
If
about
if Ayrton were here, he'd make some very ill-timed, inappropriate, deep jokes, and I'm sad that he's not.
He's not here
I
yet
mean-
because he's eating dinner.
I mean, he would make inappropriate jokes, and they'd make ill-timed jokes, but they wouldn't be very deep. He is, after all, the possessor of the world's largest micropenis. They're only
But let's
they're only
finish,
so deep.
let's finish talking about this Batman Beyond comic.
Yes. Here's the thing. It's not just that it's good Batman books, although it absolutely is. But whoever wrote it, whoever made them, actually understood that Batman Beyond is a cyberpunk. And so they said, what if we take this idea that it's Gotham as a cyberpunk and actually ran with it? Right?
Lean all the way in.
So there's a story about basically an influencer, right, being manipulated by an artificial intelligence that is trying to make Gotham's society into a monoculture, right? And the irony is that this is causing crime rates in Gotham to drop precipitously. Like, it's what Batman always worked for, right?
We already read White Knight, Rune.
No, this is better than White Knight. Somebody actually knew what the fuck they were doing.
And this precedes White Knight.
The thing is that the reason it doesn't work and the reason Batman has to put a stop to it is because of the horrifying realization that all you have to do to get this perfect society with no crime is let an AI take you over and run your life for you. And they said that's bad. Like, seriously. And they have a B plot. Terry's brother Matt figures it out finally and finagles his way into being Robin, right? But they don't just hand wave and go, he's Robin now, right? Terry doesn't want to do Robin. Bruce doesn't want him to be Robin. And they actually dig up Flash, like Wally, right? Who gives Bruce the riot axe for making a Robin. Because imagine that. Old heroes are pointing out that, like, Bruce Wayne is 2 steps removed
How's it
from
going,
an
Matt?
Epstein. Hello, Commander.
Hello.
I mean, I'm
See?
a live.
So yeah, we're gonna segue into punching Nazis because people are talking about punching Nazis again.
Are we going to talk about Peacemaker? Is that what this is?
Well, no, we're gonna first talk about how in Absolute Batman, there's a piece of cover art that shows Batman with a bunch of Klansmen, and the artist said, "I was feeling really angry about Trump, so Batman's gonna punch some Klansmen."
Here's the thing. That shouldn't fucking matter. Okay, but because he had to open his yap and give his opinions on Trump and Batman's gonna punch Nazis, now it matters. It's fucking tiresome.
So I'm actually I wanted to take this time to talk about a good comic book since
Okay.
Okay.
since we're talking about this. Does anybody remember the issue of Spawn where Spawn showed up to try and help these two kids who were in an abusive household?
Yes, I have that issue. Spawn didn't
Okay.
show up of his own volition. He
He just kind of
crashed
zapped there.
after. Yeah,
Yeah.
he got zapped there after the war in heaven after getting his shit kicked in, and was
So
rescued by
when
one of the kids
well,
that had been
right.
accused.
And at the end of the issue, he said that he didn't kill the kid's dad
No,
because the kids begged him not to kill him. And he was
right.
trying to be a better person. But what he did do was scar the man's flesh with the words "I beat my kids" that looked like
Yep.
Bart Simpson wrote it on his chalkboard over and
Yep.
over and over again.
And
And that was a really good way to tackle social issues within the realms of an edgy comic book.
well, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. Spawn's act of quote mercy didn't work
No, but the
because
thing is that arc, that issue in and of itself contained, before you go into the fact that
right,
didn't work or whatever, like that should
right.
have worked.
Well,
If
no,
if
it
if
shouldn't. No,
storytelling was, I'm
here's the
saying,
thing.
if storytelling was good, that should have been the end of that through
No,
line.
no. It didn't work in the correct way, which is the unfortunate thing. He used hell
But
power to scar this guy with "I beat my kids" all over his body, right? And then
right,
he took off because Spawn's got to go do a spawning, right?
yeah,
The kids come home. Dad has destroyed the house in a fit of rage, and
right,
is drunkenly gonna beat the shit out of
and
them.
his kid has to kill him. Yeah,
So his kid has to shoot him, which means that Spawn didn't end the evil, no matter how much he wants to. If anything, he perpetuated it, and Hell got another soul, which is crux to the Spawn narrative.
right. And
It,
and it's good storytelling. It's a good social commentary. And then there's Absolute Batman.
Yeah,
yeah. Give me a
right.
second. I'm gonna pull up the page here. 1 second. Share screen. And I'm in the right browser to share screen today. Well,
I vamped that long, and Larry's still getting stuff pulled up. I try. I'm feeding you here, Larry.
so here's
Who
the
the fuck's
absolute
wife made these bags? Can't cut holes for shit.
Hello.
I can't see a fucking thing.
Yes, Batman.
But first of all, absolute Batman looks like absolute ass in this image.
I mean, it's not Batman. It's some techno barbarian with an axe.
Yes, but I mean they're calling it Batman.
They can call it whatever the fuck they want.
And yes, this is
Or-
Bat
or
Max
in fact-
Man.
In fact, I'm gonna drop the nerdiest hot fire. They had to work really hard to make Conrad Kurz from Warhammer 40k a better Batman than Batman.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Whoever wrote and drew this really wanted Frank Miller's approval.
Yes.
Except Frank Miller actually at one time understood restraint.
He does.
Yes, but
'Cause
now with all the worms eating his brain, he's going to head pat everybody that asks for it.
Probably. But here's the thing. Here's the thing though. You do a comic back in the 50s, Superman versus the Klan. Nobody bats an eye. Everybody agrees
Well,
the
actually,
Klan
that
are
wasn't done as a comic in the 50s. That was done as a radio show.
right, but still, everyone agrees the Klan is bad. Superman's a good guy. Superman beats up bad guys. End of story. Right?
Democrats, by the way.
Hmm.
You want to say
made by Democrats. Just
you want to
wanna
do a
put that out
Batman
there.
story. Batman's gonna fight the Klan, right? You have 5 or 6 good old boys gonna lynch someone on the precinct periphery of Gotham, and out in
Oh,
the swamp where
hold up, Bruin. We gotta wait. If Ayrton's coming, we gotta wait for him because this particular conversation he needs to be a part of, because
I mean,
there's
look,
something that he and I have both read that is better than this.
look.
Oh,
I
no,
don't
no.
know. I don't know if Ayrton's coming. I just know
He's coming.
Heather's in the audience.
He's in a DM. He's coming. But
He's
uh,
gonna
Is he
come.
coming?
but the other bit of awful of the related theme is what happened with Peacemaker, and I tried to make myself watch Peacemaker, but I could not do that violence to my soul.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna make it very clear. They had the right people to make the right DC televised universe, and they didn't. And because they didn't, they have done nothing good with it for decades.
So let's take a look at these 4 sequences.
Must we?
I mean, they're on the screen.
Okay.
Now, James Gunn already said it's not Earth X. It's another Earth where the Nazis somehow inexplicably took over
Fuck
America.
you, James Gunn. Okay, Superman's parents did not tell him to rape the planet, and it is absolutely Earth X. Shut up. Yeah.
Okay, then.
You can tell whatever lies you want to the populace. We don't buy it.
But here's the line.
I'm gonna leave that up in the background because I feel like I'm gonna need it again tonight.
He says, "I can't believe you didn't realize we're in Nazi world."
Somebody bring Ayrton in. He's in the.
Give me a second.
He's in the space.
I'll bring him in.
I got it.
Man,
You got it?
I don't know what took you longer to bring me in or actually figure out how to share screen on your browser, Larry.
Well, no. I was literally in the share screen, and I didn't pull you up because I was looking at this stupidity. I can't believe you didn't realize we're in Nazi world because of the copies of Mein Kampf on the internet. And we see the picture of Hitler with the Hitler America flag. And John Cena's character goes, "Fuck, how did I miss that?"
Okay,
Because John Cena's character's a moron in the show.
Okay, can we talk about how that flag does go kind of hard?
No, it's dumb. You don't put the Nazi emblem on.
All right. No. Let's roll back even harder because we need to be clear about this. Having just said that it's Earth X, okay? These stupid ideas.
Well, no, it's not Earth X because there's no Nazi Superman, and he's explicitly said there's no Nazi Superman.
Sure, they can say that as much as they want. Again, James Gunn's a liar. Fuck him. The first time this was done, it might have halfway been interesting in a comic.
You mean the first time when it was done in a comic, when it was done with Vandal Savage?
Yeah. Many moons ago, this might have been halfway decent. Now that we are on increments fucking 79 million of this same notion of what if America but the Nazi? No, it's fucking dumb. We're tired.
This is worse than Hail Hydra from Captain America.
Also in this show, Amanda Waller's daughter in Nazi Earth, where black people are put in concentration camps, said, we're not as different from these people as you'd think.
Right.
That's fucking rich coming from Amanda Waller's kid.
Right. Wealthy black woman said this world ain't so different, despite the fact she has never been taken out of her home and forcibly put in a concentration camp.
Look at who Amanda Waller is.
That's my point. Amanda Waller's daughter is going to be taken care of. Amanda Waller is fucking wealthy.
Doesn't Amanda Waller put bombs in the necks of people for like minor criminal offenses and forced into slave labor?
And pulls a government paycheck in the DC super future.
But
literally, isn't the Suicide Squad a slave labor force?
Yeah, it is. But hold up, it's even better. Because in the James Gunniverse, Amanda Waller's daughter has used the FBI to pull people out of their homes and arrest them.
Right, but Earth X is the problem. The white Nazi is the problem because the black Nazis don't exist, right?
And the big thing people say that makes this season of Peacemaker good is in Peacemaker Season 1, Peacemaker's dad was a racist Nazi piece of shit. But in the
Ugh.
alternate reality, he's not a Nazi piece of shit, but he just doesn't do anything to stop Nazis doing Nazi stuff.
So what they're actually saying is,
I'm kind of retarded.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay,
And what I was postulating, because church had to stop because you were coming in, because you were going to have very strong, probably dumb opinions on a subject. But you're allowed, Ayrton. We love you.
Yeah. So, Church, what was
Um,
your thought about this?
So when you and I both read Tales of the Gas Station in completion, Ayrton.
yeah,
So do you remember when the redneck cadre showed up and basically maimed everybody at the gas station?
yeah.
Okay, that was written better than this absolute Batman or Peacemaker trash that we're talking about, and I wanted you to be a part of it so we could draw a correlation between those two things.
well, here's the thing. If we can bring
Some
up
idiot on YouTube for clicks wrote a better plot line about how racist would react in a situation and wrote better racial characters for a fucked up YouTube thing that made no fucking sense. It made no goddamn sense.
Here's the
I
thing,
mean,
bring
he's
up,
he's still writing. There's newer stories. I think
Here's the-
his last update was earlier this year, like March or something.
Here's the thing, Larry. Bring up the absolute Batman again, real quick.
Give me a second.
If Ayrton has not already seen this, we should show him We should show them what Scott did. As
Hey,
he point fingers at it.
Have you seen Absolute Unit Batman versus
Brick
the
Man?
Klan?
The flying brick.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think I did. I might have saw it like.
Battle
when-
Axe Brick Man.
and I think I just kind of scrolled past it because I was like, "Oh, that's dumb."
God damn it, Rune with a combo breaker.
I will say, if you look in the,
I do not endorse your combo.
if you look in our Twitter chat, I don't think we could pull it on screen, but I did post something that could be relevant to
Yes,
this Nazi conversation.
You posted a set of Nazi boobs and
Well, Larry is looking for what he's looking for if he can. If he can't,
From
we'll
the
just move on without
animated
it.
Dark Knight Returns. Yes, very good.
What I
That was
was
actually in the book as well.
what I was postulating is if Superman fights a bunch of Klansmen, nobody bats an eye. That's just how you do it. If Batman punches out a bunch of Nazis, what you do is you have some good old boys about to lynch a guy on the periphery of Gotham City, and Batman shows up because Batman is fucking everywhere, and you can't pull an evil without him knowing it. And he stops them because Batman stops bad people from doing bad things. And it's a very simple story. And if you need that bigger world building, yeah, have Solomon Grundy show up to punch Batman because he hides out in Murder Swamp or whatever the
hold
fuck
up.
the name of that place is.
Hold up. I got a much better approach on this for you, Rune. So,
sure.
so a lot of the quote unquote racist content online, right?
Right.
It's all part of billionaire culture war stuff. But what if, just for a moment, Bruce Wayne was fighting another billionaire who's all like, yeah, I'm just posting these edgy pseudo-Nazi memes. It's not a big deal. And instead of Batman punching Nazis, we have Bruce Wayne talking about a billionaire who's promoting, white nationalist content.
So Neilon Susk?
Well, no, an actual scumbag. Elon's not even all the way in there. So, like, look at this shitty cover here.
But
Ayrton.
that brings me to this cover. That's the problem,
Yeah.
right?
Batman. That's a cover.
That's a cover.
Who signed off on that being a cover?
Basically, Scott Snyder has a agreement with DC Comics that every year or so he'll come up with a bullshit idea like this, and they'll just sign off on anything he wants to do.
Yeah, it's how they get him to work for them. Is he gets a golden ticket? But here's the thing: you want to say Batman fights 6 or 7 good old boys lynching a dude? I'm down. You want to say Batman fights 20 dudes? I'm down. You want to say Bruce Wayne punches out a Nazi who operates behind the scene of seeming like a serious, authentic dude? I'm cool with that. But that Batman doesn't fight an army of torch wielding white supremacists. That's not a Batman cover. You say, well, what is a Batman cover, Joe? It's like or what is a cover with a bunch of torch wielding white supremacists? Let's say that's a Punisher cover. The Punisher fights an unmitigated army of white supremacists, and he does it with an M60, and they all die.
Also,
I,
because I feel like nobody here has actually cracked the cover of an Absolute Batman. If you
I have
have, I
not,
apologize.
because
But
it's dumb. It's just
but
dumb.
in Absolute Batman, Bruce Wayne is a fucking nobody.
I know.
Yeah, so Bruce Wayne wouldn't be in the same room with the Nazi billionaire. He's not important enough in Absolute Batman.
Except, of course, he's not a nobody. He's only a nobody to somebody who doesn't understand how money works.
Yeah, he's a famous architect.
Right, he's a famous architect, which is itself a lot of money. And I actually had a realization. Larry, do you know why he's an architect?
Why is he an architect?
Because I watch movies, Larry. That's why. Death Wish, the original Death Wish, the Bronson Death Wish, not the remake.
Oh,
He's an architect. But we weren't supposed to know. We're supposed to be dumb and not see what the fuck they're doing.
That was almost clever.
That being said, Commander Classified, you are a scholar and a gentleman. You are 100%
Say that
correct.
again.
What, Commander's Classified?
No. The whatever I missed.
Oh, it's the same job that Bronson's character in Death Wish had.
Right. The writers of Absolute Batman think we're dumb and that we don't appreciate older film. So we're not supposed to have caught that they basically said that the entire thesis of this thing is, what if Batman was Charles Bronson from Death Wish?
Yeah. So
that doesn't make the story better.
What if
he
was
Death
the Masked Rider from Death Race?
It would still be better than this.
I mean, that would be David Carradine then, and then Batman would have an autoerotic asphyxiation problem.
And he doesn't running around in a
already
latex
has
suit.
an autoerotic asphyxiation problem. David Carradine was dressed up as Batman when he died, for fuck's sake.
Look, are you guys saying that, in fact, the entire reason the Scarecrow wears a noose around his neck sometimes is because he and Batman have a very close relationship that we don't see on screen?
Obviously.
I mean, that was inferred from the old 60s Batman show, because remember, Adam West and Frank Gorshin did both go to Hollywood orgies together.
With Burt Ward, apparently.
Yes. Because Burt Ward has a penis that's the opposite of Ayrton's, from what has been alleged. That was a good laugh, Rune.
Speaking of Rune's laugh, can we talk about how the gay and fake right-wing media is just now finding the Transformers thing we talked about like 3 years ago?
Yeah. So here's what happens, right? Netflix every so often churns stuff from the bottom of their algorithm to the top. So a lot of the stuff that we talked about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago being children's sludge, they found. Let me see if I can get the media assets out of here.
I will in fact adopt the nom de guerre of my my Decepticon character.
I'd have to find that clip somewhere else because it's stuck. Because StreamYards is holding all our clips hostage.
So while Larry digs, off topic but fun. We're gonna have fun for a minute.
Did I not upload it as like a short to the channel?
No, that's the thing. They've locked all the stuff for the channel down, because we're not paying.
No, not as an asset in StreamYards. I thought I uploaded it as its own short. Yeah, I thought I did.
Give me a second.
Well, Larry's digging. So,
holy shit! Whatever you just bumped, they just got really loud. I gotta turn them down. Okay.
So our friend Lane, is running a Transformers game, which uses the same system as the Power Rangers RPG that we were gonna do a thing in. So we're all playing Decepticons, and the idea is that we crash landed on Earth before the Gen 1s arrived. And so we're trying to lay the groundwork for when the Decepticons arrive so that they can conquer Earth. And everybody made neat characters of varying types. And it's like, Joe, what did you make? It's like, oh, I made a Predacon. It's like, cool. What's his deal? It's like, oh, he's just a fucking cannibal. What? It's like, yeah, he's a Decepticon. He's a bad guy. He does bad guy stuff. What do you do, Joe? It's like, well, he's hungry. He's always hungry. He has the always hungry trait, so he eats. What are you eating? It's like, humans. What? It's like, yeah, I'm eating the flesh bags. Why? It's like, because I can convert them to energon. It's like, let me get this straight. You are a murder machine that works for us, yes. And you are murdering the humans en masse, yes. And in threatening our entire mission, yes. Because you're hungry, yes.
I mean, point of order. Point of order. I'm not sure that actually threatens the Decepticon mission.
Well, the extra joke is Ravenous is a dire wolf. That's the Predacon form that he took. He scanned some ancient fossils, so he is basically an urban legend somewhere in the California-like wilderness near this major metropolitan city is supposedly a giant animal that eats people. So like the only people coming out to get me are cryptid hunters, and you know what? They disappear all the time.
It's true. It's true. So I'm going to talk about the Toxic Avenger movie
Apparently-
I saw.
Just very briefly, apparently Heather gets it. Apparently she gets a little crazy when she hungry.
It's true.
A
Is she,
little crazy?
Well, you would be the expert. Does she get hangry or horngry?
Yes.
Oh God!
I mean,
Protect your chicken, sir.
but so I watched the Toxic Avengers remake, and it was bad. It was so bad I had to briefly bring in Joe for a consult.
It's like,
Because-
Joe, you're a trash expert.
Because I didn't remember how bad the original Toxic Avenger was, or any of its
The
sequels.
correct term, Joe, is trash panda. That's what we call you behind your back.
Speaking of, I have a movie we need to watch for next week.
Okay, what is it?
Crackoons. I posted the link to the IMDb in the Twitter.
Is that about raccoons that eat crack?
Yes.
Okay, that actually sounds good. I would want to see that.
So
If it was about the crack epidemic, I'd be much more dubious.
So the first thing I want to say about the Toxic Avenger remake, reboot.
I live in the
whatever you
southeast.
call it.
We see that movie every day, Rune.
Wait a minute, Larry. Is the first thing you want to ask about the Toxic Avenger why?
No, because it's because Hollywood has run out of ideas. So the Toxic Avenger remake, reboot, whatever, all the famous actors in it, except for Peter Dinklage, are all having a good time.
Well, of course, Peter Dinklage isn't. He's a joyless fuck.
Yeah, no, but I mean, he clearly is displaying contempt for the material and for the part. And I don't think that any of the studios involved had enough leverage on Peter to force him to do this movie. So we're thinking this is his Jaws 3. He needed like a new house or a car or like
Yeah,
a
but shouldn't a
bridge
house
loan.
for him be half off?
Well, I mean, no. He wants to obviously have a full-size person house and make it like a castle for him. Because that's how
Also-
the relative difference in size works.
Also, Ayrton, you gotta remember, in this housing market, even a small house is expensive.
It's true.
That's fair.
It's true. So that was the first thing that really struck me about this movie. The second thing is this movie not only didn't have a narrative structure, it was actively violent towards your sense and desire for it to have one. You wanted it to end sooner than later. And just when you reach that realization of please just let this movie be over, it decided to throw its pacing out the window. So Peter Dinklage plays some cuck That's what I'm going to call his character, because he's a stepdad who stepped up, raising his dead wife, who he never married, son.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is. It is. And the kid doesn't respect him because he just goes along to get along. And then he discovers he has explosive brain cancer.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
So he had what
Wait a minute.
JFK had.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me that they set out to the impossible mission to make something worse than a trauma movie?
Yes.
Because here's the thing of it. The actual original film. Some cuck is some guy. Okay?
Yes.
And some guy's motivation is he wants to get laid. Right?
Which is a universal male motivation.
So the villain's girlfriend, or one of his women, right, puts on airs like she's into the dipshit, but convinces some guy that to truly get her interest, he must put on a tutu, you know, dressed like a ballerina, and meet her like in a bathroom. Because it's a trauma movie and taste is out the window.
That's how I met my wife.
No, please don't tell me more about your personal life, Church. The thing is that it's obviously a setup. He is beaten like an unwanted redheaded stepchild and thrown out a window, not kidding, and lands in the back of a truck full of toxic goo. Right? And that's how he becomes the Toxic Avenger and spends the rest of the movie running around looking like a mutant in a tutu. That's literally the film. That's literally how this went. It's like there was no family, there was no emotional context, there was no cancer. What the fuck is this? This isn't even a Toxic Avenger remake. This is a Toxic Avenger fan fiction, and it's badly made for a bad movie.
Wait, we haven't even gotten into the worst parts yet, Joe.
Jesus Christ, it gets worse?
It does. So you see, he works for basically Super Male Vitality, the corporation that's run by Kevin Bacon, who is keeping
My
himself...
ball sack doesn't currently have any employees. Thank you.
And Kevin Bacon's character is currently taking live virile gorilla blood to keep himself alive because he has some sort of indeterminate degenerate disease, but we'll get to that later.
He pays me $8,000 a bag for that stuff.
So some cuck goes to talk to his boss, the CEO of the company, who's also in debt to the mob, because if you're a major pharmaceutical manufacturer, of course you're in debt to the mob. That just goes without saying. And he says, "Please, sir, my platinum insurance with the company doesn't pay for the drugs that will, keep me from dying from brain cancer." And he tells him to get fucked. And so our titular cuck takes his mop and dips it in toxic waste and uses the toxic waste to hold up the bank vault that's in his manufacturing facility and get money.
With a mop?
With a mop that's been dipped in toxic waste.
Did the security guard just shoot him across a room and laugh?
No. Because this toxic waste causes instant mutations and or death. And everybody knows this.
I don't know if that's a gamble I'd want to take.
So he escapes. The money, however, gets dunked into some of the toxic waste and sets on fire. And then he meets strong female protagonist, who is female and black. She's trying to bust up this evil corporation. But because strong female protagonist is here trying to get evidence to bust up this corporation, they both have to face off with the mooks. And the mooks in this movie are, what if we combine Gwar with Insane Clown Posse?
That's terrifying.
So I want to make sure I understand this, and then I want to give an interesting side note. So you're telling me that the Toxic Avenger hooks up with Foxy Brown to fight Gwar?
Not yet. They
But
just
then-
accidentally bump into each other.
But
But
then
Gore is
the
there to murder her.
But then the other thing is, I just heard assault weapon fire outside my house. Not because I live in a place where assault weapons are fired, but because I'm close enough to the base that sometimes we can hear when they're on like night maneuvers and stuff for
Yeah.
training. And I really wish that I was there being shot with full of holes rather than be here listening to this.
So some cuck, played by Peter Dinklage, gets shot by the Juggalo.
This is also a good name, by the way, is Some Cuck. I like this.
And then he gets thrown into a giant lake of toxic waste, which magically transforms him into the titular Toxic Avenger.
So it's a reverse Batman.
It's a reverse Batman.
Instead of Batman throwing the Joker into a vat of toxic waste and getting a Juggalo, the Juggalo throws Batman into the vat of toxic waste and gets Peter Dinklage.
Yes. And then he goes about and starts brutally murdering various people. Like a guy from the
Even-
mafia who's trying to steal his old lady neighbor's house.
Well, like, what did he do? Does he like jump into the air and fly at their face like a chihuahua? What the fuck?
No. Because you see, the guy who plays Peter Dinklage's Toxic Avenger character is just a short guy, not a midget. So you see, he is transformed and made larger by the toxic waste, so he's just a short guy.
See, this is actually where I'm surprised
Is this,
because I
is
heard
this
Peter
like that
Dinklage-
episode of the? Is this like that episode of The Simpsons where Stan Lee said he was going to Hulk out, but he just like ripped his shirt a little bit and didn't change?
No. He turns into a mutant. Just instead of being a full-size man mutant.
Yeah, but you
he's
said
a
it was Peter
man-like mutant.
Dinklage. So I mean, did he really change, or did he just get a little taller?
Well,
I
no,
did
Peter
it
Dinklage.
once.
Peter Dinklage does the ADR. He's basically was only on the set for a day.
Hey, wait a minute. What serious question? Because what if it's that stupid? What if Peter Dinklage was really excited to be this movie when he thought he was going to be a short, toxic Avenger, and then found out well after they'd gotten too deep into filming that he was actually going to be an ADR Avenger
Oh,
because
no.
they were going to replace him with a
Oh no, they
physical dude.
they didn't have the money to pay for Peter Dinklage to be fully make-upped up to be the Toxic Avenger, and he didn't want to commit to makeup time.
Well, I'm just saying because oddly enough, if it was actually Peter Dinklage like Steve-O attacking people, I would almost be down with it.
So he rips people's arms off. He melts people's faces off. He sticks his toxic waste mop up people's colon. If you're familiar with trauma movies, all the gore is what you would come to expect. However, instead of being practical effect gore, it's all CGI gore.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah. So eventually, the bad guys realize he has a son. They kidnap his son, and then Peter Dinklage murders Juggalo Guar on the stage, and tells everybody that they're bad guys who work as hitmen for an evil corporation, the Mafia. And much like the Superman rape tape, everybody just believes it.
Oh my god. Oh, that's awful. And he
And,
didn't even mean to do it.
And then
I'm sorry. I am struck with mortification at how we casually refer to quote the Superman rape tape in the same level of casual disdain we have for Rob Lowe's Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
I mean, that was actually a movie.
Right, but it was also based on a job because Rob Lowe was innocent, and we proved he was innocent. But
Yes. Yes. So Toxie and Foxy.
Superman is also innocent. I want to say.
Yes. So Toxie and Foxy.
What the fuck did you just say to me, Larry?
I said I was talking about Toxie and Foxy.
Get the fuck out.
But it's clearly Foxy Brown and Dinkle Avenger.
Yeah. Thus Toxie and Foxy. But Okay, then. So anyway, they get captured, and
I don't have to settle for this. I could be living my life. I don't have to deal with this bullshit.
and Kevin Bacon drains his toxic waste juices from him. Much in a scene reminiscent of Blade 1.
Which scene in Blade 1?
The one where Blade gets his blood sucked out and he gets turned, and the bad guy gets turned into the blood god.
Ah.
But Kevin Bacon gets turned into a goat demon.
You know, I didn't realize that Kevin Bacon had made it his life's work to find a way to make that Men in Black knockoff a better film, but he did it.
He did it.
He did it by finding a way to make a worse film.
And
Because
Toxie
R.I.P.D. is now suddenly halfway decent.
and Toxie escaped his imprisonment by peeing on the chains.
Of course.
Hell yeah.
Then they fight.
I
There's a
really
fake-
am going to leave now. I can't be here for this.
We're almost done. We're almost done, and we're going to talk about Guinness next. I promise you, we're going to talk about Guinness next, and then we're going to talk about the Rock playing Mark Kerr.
Yeah, I'm still going to leave.
Oh, I thought his
None of that sounds appealing.
I thought his character's first name in that was Nick.
No.
Wow.
But yes, Toxie defeats the bad guys. The U.S. government says, we're just going to ignore all the people you murdered because you helped us catch worse people. The end. This was terrible. Everybody involved should feel bad. But it's a trouble movie. So none of the
Heather,
people
you forget, I'm a man. I have rights. That's the difference. I can do what I like.
As long as Mrs. Church says you can.
Shut up, Rune.
So I also
How
watched.
dare you be accurate and hurtfully correct?
So I watched House of Guinness, and that is a really good TV show, and I highly recommend you watch it. First of all, it is a highly accurate historical fiction about the potato people, and the fact that they were very disagreeable about religion when the English controlled them, and how they loved alcohol.
I mean, to be fair, you should always be disagreeable with the English on everything.
Look, it is the most intelligent thing that Family Guy has ever said to have pointed out that before the arrival of the potato people were in fact an enlightened and advanced super tech society.
So the movie has the TV show has lots of good things in it. So the patriarch of the Guinness family decides in his will he's going to make everybody equally unhappy. So first,
that was a very Irish thing to do.
His eldest and second-born son jointly hold the ownership of the family business. And if they want access to any of the family money, which is separate from the business's money, they have to maintain the stake in the business, or else they were completely disinherited. Now, the eldest brother is a homosexual, and he wanted to get bought out of the family business so he could go live somewhere and be gay. The second son was the one who was interested in learning about the business, and he wanted to buy out his gay brother. A win-win for everybody. But their father was like, no, I'm going to make you both unhappy. He had a daughter who had a husband, and he's like, great, since you have a husband, you don't need any money from me. This is a problem for her for several reasons, not the least of which is she had sex with the superintendent of the Guinness brewery. And it's a little bit of a scandal in the family. And the youngest son is a drunken degenerate, and the father says, after consulting with the clergy and men of science, I've determined giving you money would be the worst thing for you.
I mean, correct.
I like that.
So the family is going about their business and trying to figure out how to do things. And one of the scenes I really loved is the second son said, "Hey, listen, we're in charge of the family business now. We're going to need wives. I need a wife from the banking end of the family who knows stuff about business and can help me do business things and be a business partner for me." And our brother is a homosexual, so he needs a wife who is of high status but low money, so she'll be married to him as a job and ignore the fact that he's every so often going out and banging dudes.
As long as he keeps his socks on.
No,
Yeah,
he
I mean,
he wants it to be gay.
I mean, we are talking about the early 20th
he-
century, the late Victorian era. You got to remember, Ayrton. The most outrageous thing you can do is show ankle.
did the other guy keep his socks on? I mean, there might be some wiggle room.
No. They all wanted to be gay. They
Yeah,
wanted to be
that's what I'm
100%
saying.
gay.
They got together in a room and said, "Let's take
Was it a
off our
steam
socks."
room?
We didn't get. I haven't got that far in the series. So
If it was a steam room, then yeah, there's no saving this, Ayrton.
That's fair.
So he's having a meeting with the cousin. He's the gay one.
By the
He's
way,
good.
Church, I am looking at putting a sauna in before you come visit.
Nice.
Good man.
So the gay one and his aunt are scheduling a meeting with a cousin who is a prospective spouse. And the cousin says, "Listen, there's a lot of leaks in this family, so send all the servants away. We're going to pour our own drinks and let's skip the tea and just drink booze," which again is very accurate and very Irish. And they're all trying to be very delicate and very diplomatic in their use of language. And she, at the appropriate time, says, "So you're just going to be dipping your wick into other places?" And the aunt is like, "Maybe we should reschedule this meeting." And he's like, "No, that's 100% correct." And she's like, "Fine, I'll agree to it on two conditions. One, when I want to have a wick dipped into me, we're not going to have any disagreement about it. You're not going to have any veto." And he's like, "Done. And also, you're going to pay me £15,000, not the 10,000 you were initially offering." And the aunt was like, "No, let's settle on 12." And he's like, "No, 15,000." So this gay man who's running for parliament and running one of the largest firms in Ireland, well, he doesn't fall in
And
love
smoking parliaments.
with. I don't know if parliament cigarettes were around back then. He negotiates this deal, and he doesn't necessarily fall in love with this
I mean,
woman.
what
He's
year?
like,
What year are
18
we in?
1877.
No cigarette brands were around.
This was before that. This was back when you rolled your own.
No, you would actually go to a tobacconist shop and you would order cigarettes and they would make them for you.
That sounds very extravagant.
Yeah.
So this is something I was talking to Rune about. I said, I like all of this scene because the young lady who was entering in and negotiating for herself, her family was dirt poor. Her father was extremely in debt. But her father was an earl. He had noble title. He had estates that were leveraged to the gills.
What
But
about
she-
Earl?
But she knew her position, she knew her leverage, and she used it. And the rich people didn't mess about saying, "Well, no, we're rich. We're going to make you do what we want." They were like, "Okay, fair." And we see a couple of other scenes like this.
Yeah, that's the most unbelievable thing you've said all night.
Really?
Rich people being fair?
I mean,
Rich
he-
people having foresight.
yes. And there were a couple of other interesting scenes with foresight like this, where there was a bastard child of the Guinness family who shows up and speaks to the second son, who's the brains behind the business, and says, "Hey, listen, I know somebody." "Well, who do you know?" He says, "Your maid." And he's like, "Well, why the fuck does that matter?" "Well, it matters because she saw some things. You're planning to go to America, and we're cousins, and I want to help you go to America."
Fuck yeah!
And he says, "Listen, you want to go to the ports in America, but you're not going to be able to do it without the support of the Fenian Brotherhood. And right now, you're firmly a unionist, and let me help you, help me, and help our family.
I would not do that because we're not quite there, but this is still an age where if you go to America and you're a member of the Fenian Brotherhood, you might be considered a domestic terrorist, and they might just hire Pinkertons to kill you.
Well, look. The Fenian Brotherhood in America only committed acts of terrorism against Canada.
Which doesn't count.
Yeah.
That
It's
did
the
not
Geneva
stop.
suggestions.
Yeah.
That did not stop people from hiring the Pinkertons to be their bully boys, and I will not let people forget it.
Yes.
It's very difficult to enforce the
Well,
Geneva
I think
Convention
you're
if
only
you're on
mad at the
fire.
Pinkertons because Wizards of the Coast has recently employed them.
No,
no.
I'm mad at the Pinkertons because they're scum. Watsy hiring them should just remind people of that.
But there's another scene I really liked where there was the head of the Irish Fenian Brotherhood who was pissed off at the Guinness family because they work for the fucking English. So he decided he was going to burn all of their barrels. And his sister, who was the smart one in the family, said, "What, are you fucking retarded?" And he does it anyway. So the response from the head of the brewery is to tell everybody, all the employees, listen, some jackass let these bad people in. We have a nice bathroom with white walls. I want you all to take this black ash that's in this tub and write the name of who was responsible. And then he proceeds to violently beat and savagely torture people until they tell him who the leader of the Fenians was. And then he goes and firebombs the guy's pub and tells him, hey, listen, we're going to have a friendly conversation.
Are you sure you're not watching Peaky Blinders?
I mean, it's very similar. It's very similar.
Like I'm sitting here like I've seen this show before.
Look,
Are you sure it's not Father Ted? Like, this sounds like the plot of one of the episodes.
It's like a mix between Peaky Blinders and My Name Is Earl. I don't.
Well, hold up. And so he tells the guy, hey, listen, go deliver this letter to your sister. Oh, by the way, I may have sent some friends over to burn her place down. And when he gets there, there's a note that says, maybe next time. And his sister tells him, you're a fucking idiot. You should have known this was going to happen. And reads the letter. The educated tough says, and in the immortal words of Benjamin Franklin, 3 people can keep a secret if 2 are dead. And she burns the letter. And he's going like, don't you want to turn that over to the police? Oh, really? You want me to turn over to the police that the superintendent of the Guinness brewery threatened to murder both of us? They might ask questions like, why? Is it because possibly one of you was connected to burning all of their barrels? And later, the second son of the family asks said superintendent to capture this woman so he can communicate to her his desire to have high tea with her at a nice hotel, which he does. And this woman is rightly pissed at him in a jail cell. And he says, listen, honey, if you don't have the money for a suit, he offers her the money. To which she, as a Irish woman in this particular context, says, I am not a fucking whore. And he says, well, sweetie, listen, if their dad was still alive, this would be very different. You would disappear into a dark hole and I would do unspeakable things to you. But this is the new generation. We're going to see what they want to do. And she, unlike her brother, was sensible and offered to blackmail the Guinness family in exchange for the Guinness brother who's elected to Parliament being more friendly to Irish political concerns. So I liked everything about this show so far, and I like how this show discussed, interrogated the subject of power and strength. Because the gay guy was at no point in time strong, but he was clearly powerful. And the guy who was the thug who runs the brewery, he was a strong person. He wasn't powerful, but also he didn't want to be powerful. The Irish woman was, of course, strong, as is the way of their people. But she wanted to be powerful. It's a good good set of character design, good story. Also, the clergy and the Fenians try to firebomb and destroy the coffin of the patriarch of the Guinness family. And so workers from the factory beat the shit out of them. It was a really good way, I think, to set up and establish the tone of that period of human history. So I recommend that show. So, Rune, did you want to dig into any of that a little bit? Uh-oh.
He's muted again. It sounds a lot like Peaky Blinders.
Well, I mean, it's very similar in tone, but unlike Peaky Blinders, there's a lot more focused on family drama. Not crime family drama, but family drama.
I mean, crime family drama's pretty interesting.
Well, yeah, no. And the family drama is interesting.
I haven't
both
I haven't imbibed much new content this week. I've been catching up on Final Fantasy 14 before Hell Week next week when I'm the only printer at work.
Oh,
That
nice.
sounds awful.
Yeah.
So I also saw Smashing Machine, starring Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, is that indie movie of his?
That's one of the ones he has coming out. This is the movie, the biopic from A24, where he plays Mark Kerr, the
You sure it's
the
not
UFC
Nick?
guy. It's not Nick, it's Mark.
You're
Maybe
positive.
Mark had a brother named Nick. I don't know. And the thing I say about this movie, the story is your standard sports biopic thing, where the athlete has, a drug abuse problem, and he later has to learn to get sober and come to terms with how he was an asshole in his relationship to his woman. The usual thing. Dwayne was trying. He was actually acting. He wasn't playing stock Dwayne Johnson character number 57. And I think Dwayne Johnson has come to the point in his career where he's like saying, I'm getting old, and if I want to get an Oscar, I better get off my ass and put in some work.
Now,
He's not going to get an Oscar.
do those awards show really mean anything anymore?
No.
It does if you're a narcissistic celebrity. Like
Okay,
Dwayne "The Rock"
besides
Johnson.
besides a massive circle jerk, like
I
nobody
personally
cares.
can't wait for AI to get an Oscar and the outrage that follows.
I would love that. That would be so good.
Yeah, nothing's going to make me happier than an AI actor actually getting an award over one of these fucking schleps.
Get like best sound design or get like a weird one. Not
No,
best
no.
acting.
I want best leading man to be AI next year.
Well, it's not
And
going
I
to be
want it
next
to
year.
be. I want it to be next year. God damn it.
They're not ready. I really like this picture for Crack Coon.
Doesn't that look great?
That is a strong movie cover.
You wanna pull that up, Larry?
Give me a
So
second. I will.
we're watching Theo Vaughn, his podcast with Forrest Galante, the wildlife conservationist. He was talking about his new show called Animals on Drugs and stuff. And, Theo Vaughn being Theo Vaughn said like, oh, like Crackoons. And then his producer Googled it and they're like, holy shit, it's a real movie.
Here we go.
So,
I mean, take a look at that picture there.
would you like to read the?
Is this starring Riff Raff? Is that Riff Raff right there?
I don't know.
It's not, but it's a funny joke for people that know who Riff Raff
A
is.
raccoon injects a discarded synthetic drug and mutates into a vicious killer. It rampages through a mountain community, threatening campers, tourists, and residents. No one is safe from the monstrous.
That's a white dude in a do-rag. That's phenomenal.
I mean,
all right, we got a porn scene in here. Very good.
That is a high-quality raccoon there, too.
A 2 porn scene? 3? 4.
So this we're
Aaron,
all in
is this a
agreement.
porno movie?
Don't worry about it.
Are you trying to get us to watch porn together again?
It won't be the first porn that I've reviewed for the show.
No means no, Aaron. No doesn't mean ask again nicely later.
I've heard it both ways.
That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of funny because a lot of old horror things. So what do you think about the threat, quote unquote, of iDubbbz doing content cop on Kino Casino?
When are people going to learn to stop giving those two Canadians content? Like, when are people going to learn to just like, if you want them to go away, they're kind of like
the roaches,
sleep paralysis demons. You have to ignore them.
Also, realistically, nobody wants to see iDubbbz either.
Everyone
Right.
wants to see iDubbbz make a fool out of himself. That's where you're wrong, Larry.
And I mean, what's he gonna say that? Like Worski was a
PPP's fat.
Yeah, Worski used to be a cokehead, and PPP used to show his.
They used to say the N-word.
You used to.
Andy Worski stutters.
Yeah, I mean, like what? Like he has no material on him.
I mentioned that PPP was fat.
I mean, their biggest crimes are just being Canadian.
So did you see the temporary mistake that Amazon made, Aaron?
I did.
I did not.
You
Okay,
well,
let me
didn't
pull up the
you
images.
you posted that one?
I posted that in the group chat, but let me pull it up so the folks.
I do peruse the group chat, so I kind of know what's going on
as well. But I mean, when Larry posts 942 things,
that's fair.
Well, I mean,
I look at about 4 of them and I go, "Huh, this all looks awful."
So I'm
then I stop looking.
I'm gonna let Ayrton talk about the dumb from Amazon,
which they've reversed,
and which they reversed almost 24 hours later. And then I'm going to tell you guys some abject tragedy, but it is content related.
Let's focus though on the Pierce Brosnan one.
That's what I was going to say.
We're talking about the gun thing. I did see that.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
I actually commented on this and I said that I am deeply concerned about the Pierce Brosnan one because it looks like he's giving an invisible hand job.
Right. Like,
and also
how did they leave the holster?
Yeah,
that was the other one that was confusing. Like
we got Pierce Brosnan. Like the top 2 look fine. You can pull it off with the top 2. Now it just looks like, you know,
Connery looks a little awkward. The Roger Moore, they just had to cut off the bottom half of the picture.
I mean, here's the thing. Sean Connery looks like he just dropped a fat beat and he's crossed his arms to tell you how funky fresh it is.
Sean Connery 100% would out rap Eminem. I'm saying that right now.
And his rap would be, sometimes you got to slap a woman.
Yeah.
Right?
All the time is sometimes.
But the Brosnan and the Craig ones, those are rough. Do we have shots of like the other ones too?
I didn't get a good snap of all the other ones.
Okay,
because they basically redid all of the Bond photos, all of them.
Because I'm trying to remember, there's.
Wait, did they keep guns out of the images when they fixed it? Okay.
No, they put the guns back in after everybody said that's retarded.
Why would they take guns out of the images? Like,
because
guns are bad. Okay.
Because you don't want to support.
Then you take the fucking movies down if that's your position,
right?
Well, that's a position that they would take if they had consistent ideas, but they don't.
They want the money. They just don't want you to feel good about giving it to them.
Nobody feels good about giving anybody money. See my previous comment about
Right,
rich people
right,
never being
but
nice.
the thing is, they specifically want you to feel bad about wanting James Bond. It's like, oh, you're buying that problematic movie? Well, I'll take your money, but you should feel bad. It's like,
These
I'm not gonna feel bad. I'm gonna go watch James
Nobody's
Bond.
buying
Fuck
James
off.
Bond off of Amazon.
and
Well,
these people have
Amazon doesn't even technically own it. If we wanna.
and these
Nobody's
people
buying
clearly
James
have
Bond from
never
Amazon. People are
read
buying the
and-
box set from Walmart that still has the guns on the label, even though Walmart doesn't have any fucking guns in it. Most of them.
Well,
Right.
Amazon owns MGM, and they're going to be making new James Bond content.
but clearly they've never read any of the books because the books are way more quote unquote problematic than having guns on your film cover.
I
mean,
mean, sideways and left her sitting there days.
Well, no.
And I went and shot about 80 people. See,
Well, no, there was
everybody
there was a
talks like
whole-
that in the James Bond book still.
There was a
Because the
whole
world
James Bond.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's a whole James Bond book where he talks about how degenerate the Swedish are.
There's in Thunderball.
I also have a book like that.
He's he gets
Turner
sent.
Diaries Church.
It's called "Fuck Them Swedes."
So M sends him to like this like men's health clinic out in the country, and there's another character there who he suspects is somebody they've been investigating, and he just refers to him as the Chinaman.
The Chinamen are not the issue here, dude.
Clearly, they are. Do you not remember what happened 5 years ago?
They pissed on my rug. They pissed on the dude's rug.
And I mean, that rug really brought the whole room together.
Shomer fucking Shabbos.
By the way, I just found out that there's a fan theory that Steve Buscemi's character was actually dead the whole time.
Phone's ringing, dude.
In
Shut the
what?
fuck up, Donnie.
No, in the Big Lebowski. So the thing is, since
Oh
only
yeah, he
John
was just a
Goodman,
figment of Walter's imagination.
yeah, and it was like a guy from Vietnam that was in Walter's unit that he just imagined was one of his friends, and so when he had a hallucination during all the shenanigans with Lebowski that Walter got shot, that's why Lebowski was so excited about him with the funeral and stuff, because he's like, finally Walter's moving on, or whatever fucking John Goodman's character's name was.
Walter.
Walter.
Sobchak.
Yeah. So I just found out about that fan theory recently.
It's bullshit. Walter or Donnie was alive, or else they wouldn't have had to make that trip to Ralph's.
I mean, people can do crazy things with imaginary friends.
No, man, you don't get them cremated again. Not Weekend at Bernie's. Now we're gonna do that to Rune. We're gonna give him a proper
I'm
burial.
okay with this.
We're
No,
gonna
I
give
am.
him a proper burial. Then we're gonna Weekend at Bernie him with hot goth
I-
bitches, and then we're gonna get him
I am-
cremated at a Ralph's can.
I am 100% okay with you. Weekends at Burnings, man. I'll tell you why. Have I mentioned on the show the story about I want to say, oh shit, not Gregory Peck, the Tasmanian, the guy that was Robin Hood many years ago, Errol Flynn, the
Yeah,
Errol Flynn story. Have I told that on stream?
I'm not sure, but I'll go with it.
Okay, so Errol Flynn and David Carradine's father, John Carradine, and several other Hollywood alumni were all young men and friends back in the golden age. And one of them had died. I forget which one. So his friends went out to have a wake in his honor, after, or to have a funeral and so on. But he was just at the morgue. He wasn't being buried yet. And they got very, very drunk. And
And they went and got him. Yeah.
they went and got him to have more drinks. And then they took him to a friend's house. And they propped him up on the couch with a drink and a cigar. And then they left. And when the friend came home, he about shit himself because there he was. And the police, of course, took the body away, and no one went to jail for it because this was back before we lost our sense of humor about certain things.
And also, studios supply bribes to police
Yeah,
departments.
yeah. But I am absolutely on board that if I die in some horrific misadventure, that you guys avail yourselves of my corpse to go on some kind of party, as long as you leave
Oh
me
yeah,
someplace interesting.
Oh,
Oh
we're
yeah,
1,000% doing that.
yeah. I'm getting a tattoo on your chest of either the bat symbol or the Superman symbol.
Superman symbol.
Oh no, I
Which,
get to pick depending on how drunk I am.
well, well, here's the thing. Let me tell you my tale of tragedy. And like I say, this is content. This is related, but we are gonna sound sad for a minute. Okay. So I was unwell for a while. You recall my leg was all messed up, and I recovered, and I'm like, yay, better. And then I did something to my knee. I don't know what. I like pulled a muscle in my knee. My knee was all fucked up. I'm like, God damn it. So I have recovered from that, and I'm like, okay, we're doing good. So I've been going around trying to get my house in order, cleaning up and doing adulting, right? I went out yesterday. I put out my trash. I'm like, Wednesday, I put out my trash. And I was like, okay, trash is out. You know what? The weather's turning. It's getting cold. I'm gonna look into bringing in my AC unit. I look on the inside of the house. I can't really see how it's attached to the building. So I step outside. I go around the house to go see what is what. And as I do, I have to scuttle because the pine needles, pine cones, dirt, and tree sap is reasonably thick. It's like snow drifts
So
out
you
front of my
say,
house.
when you say scuttle, I'm picturing you doing like the Zoidberg thing.
Oh, we're getting to that.
Okay.
So the thing is that I fall down, right? But I don't fall down all the way. I grab this wagon I have in my front yard, and I'm like, nope, stopped it. Okay, we're on our knees, but we can get up. I brace against the house. I stand up. I get around the house. I go down. I look at the fucking AC unit. Damn it. I can't manipulate it from this side, and it's attached on the inside. So this was a big waste of time. I'll have to get a friend to help me with this. Okay. So we're coming back around to the front. And the nature of this obstacle course that I'm outlining is that in addition to the pine needles, the pine cones, and all the dirt and pine sap, there is a big tree, and the big tree has a big root. The big root has caused a rise in the earth, so the angle is all fucking wrong because it's not flat out there, right?
He said big root.
Yeah. So I hit the dirt again, and this time it's a full on, yep, I'm down. Joe's down for the count. Can I get up? No, I can't force myself up. Can I adjust my position? No, I must go forward because my feet are still in the detritus, right? It's like when a car gets stuck in the mud, right? The more you spin, the more you're digging, you're not getting anywhere. So I must crawl on my knees over dirt and rocks and awful shit. And I crawl to the front of the house and I try to get up using the recycle bin. Recycle bin's too tall, right? Can't pull my fucking broken 43-year-old ass up. Okay, fine. So I sit on my ass with my back against the house for a minute and I just breathe it out, think about it. Okay. Get back on my knees, crawl some more. I now have a big stick because I'm inventive, and I have the other recycle bin, which I happen to know is empty. I push that shit over, I brace myself on it, and I get to my feet. Victory! God, all that hurt, but I'm fine. I did it. Stand up the recycle bin, go in the house, whatever. It is now today. It's Sunday. I have to pay my rent. I haven't been able to find my mailbox key. I've misplaced my house keys. They're somewhere in the house. It's really pissing me off. I call a friend. I say, okay, let's go get the rent. He comes by. He grabs me. We go. We get the rent. Wonderful. So we park, and I'm doing okay. I'm like, no, I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm doing a lot better. And we walk down into the grocery store to get the money orders for the rent. And we grab a cart just because it's good to have a cart. It's good to have a cart. And that's when my leg decides to lock up, and I decide that now is the time to fall on my face in the store. Which I've only fallen in that store like 3 times in 20 years. Right? It's just today is my number apparently. Well, fuck. So I smashed my elbow, I smashed my knee that was all better. I am now not doing well. But I don't tell anybody because I can soldier on. So we get the money order, I get the money order filled out, we get in the car, we drive me home. The rent is out and on the way. And now I am home. And it is, what was it when you and I started talking, Larry? About an hour and a half to show?
Yeah, something like
Give or
that.
take? Yeah. So, as I have been sitting here on show with you guys, my limbs have been getting stiff in the not fun way. The pains are coming to the surface, and I had to get drugs in my system.
Mhm.
Which is why I was muted, because I had to get up, hit the head, grab fluids, put drugs in me. Right? And I tell you this extended story of what an adventure with Joe is like, and how beat to shit I am, and I still have to, do life in the middle. Because the question of the combat wheelchair in D&D has come up again. Why? Because WotC, in their infinite wisdom, decided to reprint Keep on the Borderlands, updated for modern audiences. They have
Which
done a
which
new version of
which
my
is
favorite.
which is stupid because they
Right.
already did one when 5th edition first came out,
Right,
which
which
is
I own.
mechanically identical.
Right. That's the thing. I've got Goodman Games Keep on the Borderlands reprint, the whole thing. But WotC wanted to do their own, and it has another person in a wheelchair. And I want to be extremely clear on this. I, a human being in my daily life, am beat to shit constantly because my body betrays me. And I still go on, doing the life thing. Right? I am a mess. Right? But I don't require a magical wheelchair to get it done. Right?
But
You
if
won't.
you had a magical wheelchair,
If I had a magical wheelchair, I'd say, why the fuck isn't this an awesome fucking throne?
That's
You'd
fair.
want to have like what Kenneth Branagh had in
Right.
Wild Wild West.
But that was my other thing. As I said, why doesn't it have like 6 legs and a bunch of, mechanical blade arms
that's
slash
that's
people?
fair. That would be cool.
Right?
But let
My-
me
my-
tell.
My issue is the combination of the fetishization of being disabled while marginalizing and minimizing the actual consequences of being fucking disabled. Because guess what? It's not fucking fun.
Well, this has to do with the politics of identity. But I want to add to your story, Joe.
Right.
So, my home GM, Tom, was running a hero system game where we're all playing superheroes. And there were various people at our table. One of the players decided to play a guy who had like a energy telekinetic arm that he
Right.
could do things with.
Right.
There was another guy who played a Green Lantern alike. The guy who played Green Lantern alike was in a wheelchair. He had some like severe developmental disorder, arthritis things. He was stuck in a wheelchair.
I mean, was it did he Green Lanternize a wheelchair? Did he float
No.
in a big green
No.
construct? Okay.
No. I mean, the person had a wheelchair, but not his character.
All right. Yeah, the dude.
So, the character hit the person who was playing the character who was missing an arm.
Right.
And so Tom, the GM, had the police officer go, "Hey, what are you doing beating up a handicap? That ain't right." And the guy in the wheelchair, one of the few times his being in a wheelchair ever became pertinent in the game, he just looked at Tom and said, "Really?" And then he immediately slipped back into character. And we just ran with it. That
Right.
character just had chronic bad luck around handicapped people.
Right. The nature of the boggle, okay, is on one level I find it intensely infantilizing, right? Right? we want to give disabled people the ability to see themselves in game and to feel good about themselves because you can be an adventurer too. And it's like, cool, but what if I don't want to be me? What if I think being me sucks? Right? But then on the other hand, it's like, okay, I want to be me, but I do want to deal with all the problems that I have so that I can overcome them in ways I could not overcome in reality. Right?
What if
Because
I live in a world where it's hard to be heroic and hard to do the right thing? But what if I want to live
In a world.
right?
What if I want to live in a world where it's easy to do the right thing and be heroic?
Right. Because here's the thing. I actually have a historical example of this. There's a guy. His name was Harald. He was a legend among the Vikings because he was like 9 foot tall. Okay. He was a poet of middling quality. He was something of a legal mind as far as Vikings understood it. But the thing was, is he had like bonitis. He had this thing where his bones would continue to grow, which meant that he had severe pains in his joints and limbs because they kept trying to exceed the muscle. Right?
Hmm?
That motherfucker went on raids and died face first in tits. Right? And you go, okay, well that doesn't sound so cool. It's like, no, they carried him into battle on a leader. Okay? He had shield brothers, like 6 deep, with shields and holding a fucking wooden frame. And he would just have a big ol' sword, and he would fucking aim for necks from a sitting position. Right? Now, of course, his shield brothers would fucking die, because you can't really defend yourself and carry a fucking dude.
But I mean, that's got to be a direct
But-
ticket to Valhalla, doesn't it?
Right. And that's the thing, is that he'd hit the ground and he wouldn't stop. He would just crawl around, pulling himself arm over arm until he found a dude, and then he would kill that dude, and then he would keep going. And if you told me, Joe, you have to play a cripple in my fantasy world, but you can go do that, I would be like, sign me the fuck up. If you told me, okay, Joe, we can let you be a fantasy guy, but you've got to be in the magical wheelchair because you can't hurt yourself, I'd be like, fuck you and the horse you rode in on. Let me do awesome shit.
So like, okay, right. You're a
So-
cripple who there's no spell or priestly invocation that'll cure you. But a gnome comes and he gives you fancy Iron Man armor.
Right.
So here's the real talk. As you guys know, I've been on a health kick as of late.
Yes, church is getting swole, everybody. Be afraid.
Not just that, but I'm trying to not only, be stronger but live healthier.
Oh, quick segue.
Yeah.
The Fortnite season has transformed. It's no longer Power Rangers. It is now K-pop Demon Hunters. I don't care. But I got all the Power Rangers shit.
Nice.
So I have
Wait,
Rangers.
you're playing Fortnite right now?
No, I'm saying in general.
No, I'm
I've
saying you're
acquired all of the
actively
things.
playing Fortnite.
I'm not playing it right now, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I have all the Power Ranger skins. I have the white Power Ranger skin. I have the Megazorg and the penultimate accomplishment.
You caught that right, Ayrton. You can clip him saying "white power" now.
Yep,
That's
that's true.
And I've got the Dragon Zorg.
Um,
I did the deal. So
so
I have done my bit for Zorg and Country.
very good.
I mentioned this because, of course, you are a giant building. So when we talk about you getting swole, it's like, no, the cathedral's getting bigger, kids.
But anyway, as part of that, I've been getting healthier and trying to balance my diet and my nutritional intake. In that course, I take a lot of supplements now. I take 10 pills a day that are not prescribed pills, multivitamin.
You used to do that back in the day too.
Well, I just took a multivitamin. But I mean, when I was working out before, I did take some supplements, but this is like 10 times what I used to do. So, I mean, I took creatine, protein, and pre-workout and all that shit back then, but that's not what I'm talking about here. For you, Joe, specifically, are you currently taking anything that's not prescribed?
No. The,
Okay.
the only
I know
the only
I know
the
you're
only thing that
also
I take the only thing I take when I talk about taking drugs is
Mhm.
I take ibuprofen for pain.
No, I understand. I,
Yeah.
I I picked up on that. And
Yeah.
I understand that you, like me, are poor.
Yep.
So, um it's kind of hard to come by. But the next time you get a chance, go to Walmart,
Okay.
and I'm not saying buy them, but do some digging and see if you can find affordable versions of the following things for your joints.
Okay.
Collagen. I got
Mhm.
a bottle of like 30 days worth for $8.
Okay.
Um, you want some vitamin D, preferably mixed with some vitamin K
All right.
and some fish oil.
Interestingly enough, I have a bunch of fish oil.
Okay, fish
Not
oil's great for your joints.
here's stupid
Mhm.
question. How long does that stuff good for?
If it
Uh,
smells like fish, throw it out.
Okay.
yeah.
I mentioned this because my old man and my mom used to get that shit, and so I have some
It's
of it around
the
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 house.
reason they took it is great for your joints, but,
Right.
usually it
Uh,
comes with a year or 2 shelf life, so you might have some that's still good, but if you
I'll,
open the bottle
I'll
and it smells like somebody microwave tuna, throw it out
yeah. No, when I need vitamin
because
K,
'cause it'll make you sick.
when I need vitamin K, I generally eat a banana like an ape.
Oh, no, the reason I say get a vitamin D with a vitamin K is
It
because
helps
no
Yeah.
matter how
metabolism.
many
Right.
well, not only that, but not only no one on the planet's getting enough vitamin K.
This is true.
That's just a thing that's not in any of our foods anymore, unless
Al-
you're just eating a lot of bananas.
Also, everyone, welcome to the gospel of health.
But all of that stuff is good for your joints. I say this because being almost 40 and starting to lift heavy weights, you
Hmm.
have to take care of your fucking joints.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And
So, something else I
it,
recommend: picking up Voltaren gel for an anti-inflammatory.
Mm,
It's a topical anti-inflammatory.
okay.
if you
Turmeric also works well for that.
yeah,
I
turmeric
my folks
turmeric's
used to
good for
swear
that.
by turmeric.
Turmeric, just start adding it in all your foods. If you cook rice, put it in your
Yeah.
rice. But those things, I'm not saying, get on a full regiment of it, but if you start taking those things
It
daily,
won't hurt. Yeah.
yeah, and plus the collagen comes with an extra boost of vitamin C to activate it,
Right.
so that'll help with seasonal colds and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
But all of that, I know a monthly supply or 2 month supply of all of that's probably going to run about $30, and I know sometimes that's a little out there, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's worth it if you're taking falls and shit.
Yeah. Well, that's
So
the thing is I do not in fact fall so much. It's just been at a surprisingly amount in like the last week, right?
yeah,
But at the same time, it's like no, you are right. I am getting older. I got to take care of my broken ass before my
yep,
broken ass is dead.
yep.
Uh, but like I
But
said, it's like this was only a segue of content to talk about yet again in the zeal of the extreme lefties or the progressive extremists to protect and to promote the disabled people and identity. They are also essentially trying to make us invisible because they want to say that it's okay to be different, but they don't actually want to see us ugly cripples because they make us feel bad.
oh yeah,
That's the thing. Here's the thing. My mom tried both sides of the fence back in the day. My mom tried to play a vampire in a vampire game once in a wheelchair because it was possible, and ran into the immediate problem of what do you do when some monster smashes your wheelchair? Because the world of darkness doesn't care, right? Uh, the other problem is that when explained to her the idea that they wanted to make wheelchairs a thing in D&D so that people with wheelchairs could feel seen. My mom said immediately, "That sounds stupid." And not for the obvious reason, not for the because they have regeneration magic and healing and restoration, but just because my mom was of the opinion people in wheelchairs wouldn't be adventurers. Not that they didn't have
No,
a
they'd
place,
be
right?
craftsmen, they'd be shopkeeps, they'd be barkeeps, but they
I mean,
would not be
well,
craftsmen,
here's
or
the thing.
they would not
I'll
be
go.
adventurers.
Here's the thing. I'll go even farther. They would be cloistered clerics, guys who dedicated themselves to the cloth and read books. They'd be like mystical sages in towers that they study magic, but they don't apply it in the field, right?
I lump all of that into craftsmen, but yes.
Sure, but we're saying the same thing. It's like society would find roles for these people that they would be able to facilitate, right? Uh, and not everyone can afford those fancy spells.
Well, not only that, but there's also, room for lore in that kind of situation where if you wanted to have
Right,
that social commentary, you could just write a society or race of people or whatever that cast out their crippled and they're injured
right.
like fucking
Well,
300.
Well, alignment is a thing in D&D, right? A lawful good society or a chaotic good society would find places for these people and help them and try to be good to them. And then it's like, so what's an evil society like? It's like evil societies throw babies out into the woods to die. It's like, oh,
No.
those
A
those are evil.
lawful evil society might just, require you to pay a fee to take care of your indigent
Right. Right.
person.
Right. If your lawful evil society is the DMV model, they might charge you a fine for having a cripple.
Now we can get you a carriage, but you're gonna have to pay an extra 50 gold for a ramp.
Mm-hmm.
No. The cripple is obviously part of the luggage.
No, the cripple's a horse.
The running of the gimps.
We're gonna use him for an axle. Prop up the back quarter of the carriage on him.
Look, the obvious answer is, in addition to some of the other gamer things we have considered, we really do need to at some point play just some straight up Dungeon and Dragon, especially for Ayrton, who has never done a Dungeon and Dragon.
I'm gonna be a
Here-
kobold monk.
Here's a
Oh,
question.
actually, I'm gonna be an Erd monk.
Here's a question. Those one-on-one D&D like kind of role-playing books, like the one-player role-playing books, can you actually adapt those for more than one player?
I don't see why not. I'd have to study one, but I can't see why they can't be worked for a group.
So basically, are you familiar with these, Church?
No.
It's a book you buy where the book is your DM. And you just do the workbook, and then you get to the end of the role playing.
I read some Goosebumps books like that back in middle school. It was choose your own adventure style.
Yeah, we have one where you're a kitten, and half the time you die, but if you don't die, a evil scientist captures you and turns you into a giant cat monster, and the military comes and hunts you down.
In matter of point, you guys have reminded me.
Mhm.
That could actually be fun to read through on it.
We don't do a lot of product placement on this show, but I do want to point you guys in the direction of this. Let me send it in the private. Did I send it in the private or send it in the comments? Nope. Where did it go?
Straight up commented it.
Well, the people can look at it too. Fuck it. Let me send this in private so you guys can actually see it though.
All right.
This is neat. These are some dudes who decided to help our dudes behind bars.
Oh, that's neat.
Have you guys heard of this problem? In many prisons and other containment facilities, people who basically can't do a damn thing but sit on their hands and wait to do their bit cannot play role-playing games because among other things, they're afraid that people will use the materials in them to plan escapes. Right? So like you can't have dungeon maps and you can't have world maps. Right?
Hold on.
You're laughing, but I'm serious.
The United States government is worried that playing a fantasy game will lead to prisoners escaping.
Yes. No, it's worse. It's worse than that, Ayrton.
Then they deserve to escape if they can use a D&D book to get out of prison.
No, it's much worse than that, Ayrton. They're also concerned that if players can escape from the context of their prison, that they might not fully be rehabilitated.
Right. The other thing, I'm not kidding, this is the actual language used, was that role-playing games gave thoughts of escape. So literally, the ability to pretend for a couple of hours that you're not in fucking prison is a crime to some people. Right? And our friend Wolfgar, you may recall he was on show once, he actually talked about this as a former prison guard, that there are dudes who run long-running campaigns of like D&D in the joint because they got nothing better to do, and it actually is good because they're behaving themselves.
Oh, they gamble on that shit in there too, though.
Oh yeah. Extra funny, the most popular character class in prison is Rogue. Everybody plays a thief. But
you play what you know.
You play what you know. But these guys, Bull Press Conversational Games, decided that it was a good idea that they should actually make small pamphlet-sized role-playing games for prisoners, for dudes in prison, as former jail guys themselves. And they include everything you need to play the module, and they provide built-in conflict resolution material, basically in the form of a spinner, right? Which you could like make work with a paperclip. And I think that's awesome.
I still say if you plan a full escape and pull it off based off of D&D, you deserve to get out.
If you plan a full escape in a D&D campaign and then you enact it, yeah, you deserve the attaboys for being like,
no, you're good.
While the paladins aren't looking, let's get out the back, guys.
No, So can we just get crowdfund buying a bunch of drones and D&D books and just like flying over and just dropping them?
You can actually most U.S. prisons you can actually just have D&D books. In fact, some of them are even part of the libraries.
It's a bit of column A, bit of column B. Yes, many of the books are actually just in the libraries because you can donate to prison libraries.
I like my idea better.
And some prisons are just fine with it, but others are cracking down, and those prisons suck. Like, prison sucks in general, but any prison where the do-gooder warden is like, no, you can't have any fun. It's like, are you fucking retarded? Do you want
sneaking pages of? Can you imagine dudes sneaking pages of a monster manual in their prison pocket?
I absolutely can.
That sounds extremely uncomfortable.
You just roll it up.
You can't roll it up because it's a hard
not with that attitude.
So I
said pages, Larry. I didn't say the whole book. Jesus Christ, what kind of sick shit are you doing on the weekends?
So I got something I want to.
Wait. I got one last thing. Just a fun little note that's D&D related. By the way, Sandy Peterson, he used to work for id Software that made Doom, and he also worked on Call of Cthulhu, told an anecdote that is true, and it is amazing. 4 different TSR artists are credited with the blank page image for the Invisible Stalker.
Nice. So I found a nice little video that I think we should use as our chill down video for the show because it's a good bit of comic book history. I'm going to read the Twitter post first before we start playing. The consensus regarding writing established character is if you don't like the character, then you shouldn't write said character. However, there are exceptions, like the creative team that saved Iron Man from cancellation.
I hated Iron Man as a kid.
You guys are hearing that, right?
Yeah.
I tell this when I do one of my lectures or whatever, or one of my master classes, I said, just remember the hate is a good thing if you channel it properly. Because if anyone has read the original Tales of Suspense, which Stan never actually wrote, he handed it off to his brother Larry, who was not Stan Lee, let's face it, okay? The early Iron Mans were just abominable, and the book always struggled. There were two tiers at Marvel. There was like the A books, the Avengers, Thor, Spider-Man, and then there was the stuff people wrote to pay the rent, and that was always Iron Man. Iron Man was always kind of a hand-me-down character, redheaded stepchild, whatever you want to call it, right? So the process of Iron Man was the fact that I always had a bug in my ass about what it should be like. And first of all, as a kid, we go back to Turbo again, right? I didn't want to be Iron Man. My fantasy was to be Tony Stark. My fantasy was to have all the girls, be the best-looking guy in the room with all the girls, all the money, all the toys, right? And an empire of my own, right? So to me, that seemed like a more achievable fantasy than putting on a suit of armor and flying around all over the place, right? And as you know, it was always the trope where, Oliver Queen or Batman or whatever, they all millionaires, so they could afford to do this stuff. So it was always just a means to get them into the costume and do the comic book adventures. But I looked at it more being fashion conscious and girl conscious and all this kind of stuff. I said, Tony Stark should be a rock star. He should walk into a room, and it should be.
Did he say he was fashion conscious and girl conscious?
Yes.
Yeah. Some guys like to wear nice clothes.
Sus.
People should lose their minds, when he walks in, right? Not so much Iron Man, but him is more popular than Iron Man. So that was my kind of goal. That if I ever got my hands on it, I said that I would change the focus of the characters. Fortunately, Dave Michelinie, who we were working together at DC before we jumped over and picked up the reins on Iron Man, was a DC guy. He wasn't much of a Marvel reader, so he had no background with that character, so you had no preconceived notions of it. I think that's one of the reasons why it really worked, because when we came in, we had a totally fresh approach. We killed the Animan in like page 5 of our first issue. So we got to get rid of the Doggy Man and the Kitty Man and all this stuff, and you get some real villains in there. So the whole idea was to totally revamp the book, because they gave us carte blanche. When we came over, it was a tryout book. They tried us out because the book was going to be canceled. And that's how they tried out new talent, was on books, because the newsstands, they work 6 months ahead. So they knew when the sales were coming back, if a book reached a certain level, that they were going to access. So Iron Man was on the chopping block. So they take their A-list guys off and then put schmucks like us on. So they gave us a choice of 3 books, and I convinced Dave, let's do Iron Man. Trust me, I have ideas, right? So I went, and we pretty much asked them, can we change stuff? And they're like, we don't care. We're canceling the book. But the nice thing is I inherited John Romita Jr., who became one of my favorite people to work with over the last 50 years. So it's getting Johnny in the deal was a good thing, definitely, and the beginning of a real long friendship. So there was an energy there because John was just starting. He was his second issue when we came on, and Dave was brand new to Marvel. I had been there. I had banged around. I did the Champions before, and I did one issue of the X-Men and then quit because the book was bi-monthly. I couldn't make a living doing it. And it's like, So yeah, I did stuff the first time, but back then the pay rate was so low, you just bounced to whoever was going to pay you $5 more a page. But when DC imploded in '70, I think it was '77, when they had their big implosion or whatever, I convinced Dave. We were working on Star Hunters at the time at DC. I said, I know people at Marvel. Let's go over there as a team and just pitch ourselves as a team. And that's kind of how we wound up on the Iron Man. And the rest, as they say, is history. 6 months later, it was one of their best-selling titles, and off we.
So, what do we think about?
It's almost like the company used to have foresight and intelligence.
Right, but what do we think about his premise of sometimes you got to just be willing to throw things in the trash if they're not working?
Well, we've talked about the tendency of Marvel specifically, but even to a certain degree, DC always having a policy of putting the toys back in the box. And this is an example of when letting people break one of the toys actually worked out. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that people go in with fresh ideas. It's actually a good thing. The problem becomes when they go in with a fresh idea on something that isn't broken.
Right. The crux here is that Iron Man was being canceled. It was not a valued property. So if you break it and it doesn't work, you didn't lose anything. It was already on its way out. If you break it and it works, you save the business, you save the company, you save the book. That's really good. It's not the same if it's like, all right, we're going to give you Spider-Man. Now go fuck it. It's like, but isn't Spider-Man a successful book consistently? Doesn't it make a lot of money consistently? So why do you want me to break it to stir interest? But if then they don't buy it, don't you lose money? A lot. There's a cognitive slip there.
But they need to subvert expectations, Rune.
Subvert expectations.
Right, but you
subvert
see,
my expectations.
We're now at the point that the only way to subvert expectations is to play it straight.
I'm fairly certain everyone here has seen Breaking Bad.
Yep.
No.
We have. I don't care for it.
Don't bullshit me, Aaron.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, well, there's a scene where Walter White grabs his crotch, and I wish I had that clip so that I could just superimpose the word "subvert this" over it.
I don't know if this is a good segue, but if you share my screen, Larry, I think I found the butt plug you were telling me about that you liked.
I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
Why doesn't it have a face? It should have a face.
It should have a face. I turned that into a T-shirt.
Do we want to talk about how James Gunn is really obsessing about Tom King and putting him in as the secret writer behind everything?
We only have 2 minutes left. We have time to get into that.
Why do we want to ruin those last 2 minutes, Larry? Why do you always want us to not ever want to come back when we leave the show?
Well, tell you what. Next week, I'm going to review the new Glenn Powell show, Chad Powers, which has Haley Welch in it, a.k.a. the Hawk Tuah girl, who won for life.
Yeah.
The show is Welch. Haley Welch is my full human name.
Did y'all see the clip of the chick who was supposed to have that part?
Yes.
And
I'm gonna warn you guys, like I warned the people that I work with. I had a bad feeling my AIDS is flaring up, and I might not make it.
Which
oh man, that's a good excuse. I need to start using that
Tom
word.
King running that, Larry?
No, they're putting Tom King in all the different shows and movies.
Oh. All right, I will just use that then. I have I don't have time to make a Jesse shut up meme. So I will give you this instead.
Man,
And don't forget
we
about
got all these
raccoons.
windows. I mean, you obviously don't want to forget about raccoons. God damn it! Why do you have AIDS?
Good night, everybody.
God damn it! That was good. I like that, Ayrton.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice touch.
It was. I mean, that is that not like our official closing out song now? It's just Marika.
Usually is. Anyway, guys, with that note, it's midnight. I'm going to bed.